Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing Comic Uno's top 10 most anticipated comics for September. So let's jump in. There's actually a lot of big books coming out for September, which usually does happen around this month. This is when they do like their reboots or whatever, so I'm not surprised they waited to the end of the summer to release some of these bigger titles. But let's start out with number 10, which is Murder Podcast issue 1. This is a new publisher that's coming out. They have done a lot with Kickstarter, and now they're also doing the direct market. This is Philip, used to be the editor-in-chief of Boom Studios, and Jeremy Hahn, who's worked on comics like The Beauty, and The Beauty is actually going to become an FX show as well. So you're really seeing a lot of different mixture of medias with Kickstarter and the direct market and also television. So Murder Podcast issue 1, again, has already been a Kickstarter, and now we're getting into the direct market, and it's how about if the murder mystery came true and you were more involved in the murder than just listening to the podcast? So very excited for that one, just for the idea of also just seeing this new company come into fruition. Moving on to number 9, it's Jeff in Other Marvel Tales issue 1. This is my favorite version of Jeff. There's been a lot of Jeff material in the past couple of months because of his popularity in Marvel Rivals. I like the little short stories. It's so weird because I'm usually not a big fan of the short story format for comics as a reader, so it's cool to see Jeff shine in these kind of newspaper clipping type stories that I think he works very well for as a character. Moving on to number 8, which is Skinbreaker issue 1. This is the huge Robert Kirkman and David Finch book that's coming out. Supposedly it's a very similar tone to Battle Beast. Supposedly also they've been working on this for a very long time, like 2+ years to get this book out there. Always curious to see what Robert Kirkman's bringing out and David Finch. Moving on to number 7, which is Red Hood issue 1. And this is a spin-off of Batman Hush. Also, interestingly enough, the first time that Red Hood has had kind of a Redband type series. This is going to be more mature for Jason Todd, which makes sense for a character like Jason Todd. You also have Huntress in the mix for this one. Moving on to number 6, which is C.O.R.T, Children of the Round Table issue 1. If you don't know, Tom Taylor actually has done a lot of young adult comic books, also has even written and created an Australian television show, which was young adult. So to see him kind of go back to these roots and do it through DC Comics and do an indie comic through DC, which makes it feel like a very Vertigo type comic book, returning with his collaborator that was on Seven Secrets. I'm interested to see what this is going to be about and what he's going to dive into. Moving on to number 5, which is Punisher Redband issue 1. I loved the Jason Aaron run for Punisher. I am sure it's going to be very different from that run, but I've also really liked Benjamin Percy's Predator stuff. I'm not a Predator fan at all, and I feel like he really grabbed me with those books. So I want to see what he ends up doing with Punisher, which feels like a similar vibe. Moving on to number 4, It Killed Everyone But Me, issue 1. In the title, Ryan Parrott doing another indie book. I love Ryan's writing, and I love this type of book. This is like everything I love about horror. It's slashers and also dealing with the aftermath of the slasher. So this is like almost written for me. I'm very excited. Number 3 is The Amazing Spider-Man issue 11. This is, again, one of the bigger issues and titles coming out for the month, where you have 2 Spider-Men. You have regular Spider-Man doing his friendly neighborhood stuff, and then this cosmic Spider-Man. I've been really trying not to look into the details that much for this book, so I just want to go in for the ride. But I'm glad that Spider-Man's doing something a little different and, you know, just trying to bring some energy back to the title.Moving on to number 2, which is Batman issue 1. Batman's rebooting, or relaunching, not rebooting. And Matt Fraction is the writer, which I don't think anyone really guessed. And I love Matt Fraction's writing. I especially really enjoyed his run on Invincible Iron Man back in the day. So I'm curious to see what he's gonna do with this other billionaire character. All right, and moving on to number 1, I'm pretty sure this is probably everyone's most anticipated book, and that is the DC Marvel crossover comic, Deadpool and Batman. You have a couple other short stories in there as well. It's been a very long time since these two have crossed over, and I'm just super excited to celebrate comics and see such a monumentous event like this. Again, this is everything I love about comics, is this idea that you've had these characters last forever and ever and ever, and you could tell stories within the same universe. So to see that collide with the big two, I think is really important, and I hope to see very big numbers for sales here. So those are my favorite comics of or most anticipated comic books for the month. Let me know in the comments below what your most anticipated comics are, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Bye.